Double Days Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Andrew Bernal.
Hello.
And of course, Mr. Ryan Herrera, thank you for joining us. Man, appreciate it. God, we got a lot to get into, man.
Dude, I'm excited to be here, brother.
yeah.
I appreciate y'all. Our brothers. Sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Not just one of you.
Yeah,
Fellas.
most definitely. So what would you consider yourself? Are you a host? Are you a comedian? Are you? How would you generalize yourself?
First of all, it's interesting that you asked that and you led with host. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like right now I'm trying to like find that balance because I do host a lot. Like I'd say, primarily that's what's happening. Like these past couple of weeks, I've had like 7 shows a week. One of them I had like 8 and 6 or 7 of those things I'm hosting, and so I do host a lot, but I'm a comedian first and foremost. I mean, that's what I got into this to do. I kind of picked up hosting just as something that was recommended as like a good skill to have. Like, y'all know Clifton Simmons, like he's, a good buddy of mine and someone that I met actually before comedy. I knew him a long time ago. And then whenever we first met, that was kind of one of the things that he had talked about was just like, man, if you can be a good host, that's going to teach you this, and this, and, kind of open some doors for you and stuff like that. And then like Big Al Gonzalez kind of reiterated the same point, like, because now I host, this weekly show over at Tank's Pizza, which I'm sure we'll talk about, later.
Yeah.
But the reason I got that show, it was because Big Al used to run that show as like an open mic. And I think before that, maybe even Clifton like ran it or something. So it kind of like it's kind of crazy how things sort of aligned that way with like some of the people that I work with now. Because like I just had Big Al on this show and he headlined it this past week on Thursday. And for me, that was kind of like a cool full circle moment to be like, man, this is a guy that passed off this show as an open mic. Once it wasn't really working as an open mic, no one was showing up. Or was like, you know what, screw it, let's turn it into a show, like a showcase.
Yeah.
That way, at least people would take it a little bit more seriously than being like, hey, come to my open mic. It's like, hey, come to my show, right? And then so people are more, naturally inclined to do that. And once that happened, just kept plugging away. And it's been over a year and a half. And, it's kind of got to a good point where we're really getting some traction and starting to get some regulars and stuff like that. And so the hosting thing just kind of happened naturally based on the people that I was connected with and then the opportunities that I was given, and then, also with that, like I work a lot with Cleto, Cleto Rodriguez. I don't know why my mouth's too dry to roll my R's right now. So I was like, Cleto, look. No, yeah.
Well, I've heard of Cleto. I mean, I'm sorry for my ignorance in the comedian world, but
No, man.
Party
I
foul,
know,
bro.
He's probably looking at me going,
Party
"Who
foul.
in the hell is this fucking guy?" Right?
Yeah.
But no, I've heard of him, and I think I've even actually seen him on Insta and stuff. Some of his clips and stuff. Funny guy. And hopefully, if down the road, hopefully can get him on the podcast.
I'm sure
and sit
he'd be
here.
down.
Yeah,
that'd be a
and
good
chit
one.
chat. Yeah, it'd be a good one.
When you say you're at Tanks, for how long have you been there?
About a year and a half. About a year and a half, yeah.
That's good.
And
I've been up there twice, and it was a really good time, dude. It's really fun. But when you, I went there like 3 or 4 times before to watch, and your rap that you do.
Oh, yeah.
The rapping. Well, is it a freestyle? Is it a rap?
It started. Well, now it's becoming more of a freestyle. So like, it was initially a freestyle. So like, the way it started was I was actually doing like Chris Brown songs, like that song like Sensational and stuff like that. But the thing is, I kept having the lyric like still play with it. So I'm trying to like ad lib over it, so instead of like sensational, I was like, it's Tank's Pizza, doing comedy for you, and then like trying to sing along with it, but then we're like, okay, well, let's get rid of the other artists singing, let's just do the instrumental. But then that's when I was like, well, why don't we try rapping? Because I used to like, back in the day, I used to like the freestyle and stuff like that.
We all did.
And so and so it's like, why not try, and especially, being at Tanks, in like a black-owned establishment, a lot of the demographic there, they like that kind of stuff. And so it was like, for me, it's something that I already kind of did, messing around. And then so once we started doing that, like now I have some things that are like pre-written just in case, but I try and make it, especially this past like month or so, I've tried to make it unique for every show and to like write lyrics. So like on the Halloween one, I had like the words that I said were very specific to Halloween, and then now like even though I'll be doing the same beat, so like I've been doing that We Ready one recently. So like before I was doing the big timers still fly. Yeah, big timers, the gator boots with the big Gucci suits. But I'm putting Tank lyrics over it and stuff.
It's so good.
And then
cool.
that one, when I started looking back at my tapes, I was like, shoot, I've been doing that for like 5 months already, you know? And it's like time's just going by so quickly that I'm not realizing it. And then I'm like, that's every single week for 5 months. I got to switch it up because that's too much of the same thing. And then so that's when I picked this other song, the We Ready song. And I've been doing that the past couple of weeks. And that one I like because I can actually, I think, naturally freestyle to that one better. For some reason, it's something about the beat that just, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a fun way to start the show. It's something that I was already kind of doing back in the day. And to me, you know, what's fun about the comedy stuff is that, like, I think the things that stand out for each of us as comedians and like make us good at what we're doing, like when we are succeeding, you know, like when you have a good set or whenever you're really catching some traction, all of that is because like our life laid the groundwork to kind of like put us in a position to where we can make things funny in a unique way,
100%,
you know? And then so like for me, like the freestyling and then some of it being pre-written, yes. But you know, a lot of freestyle rappers, like if you go on YouTube and it's like, oh, Lil Dicky freestyle on this, like he wrote that shit before, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't freestyle for 5 minutes straight off the dome that quickly. Like, you know, anyway. I mean, shout out Lil Dicky. No offense. I'm just saying, dog. Actually, I'm pretty sure I saw an interview where he said that he wrote some of the stuff. So you know what? Screw it.
This isn't a rap battle challenge, Lil Dicky at all.
Yeah. Lil Dicky, I'm coming for you, dog. Coming for you. Congratulations on your marriage. I think I saw that on Instagram or something. I don't know.
Shit.
But yeah, dude. And so now, because of something that I did when I was younger in high school and stuff like that, that kind of laid the groundwork for like almost like a little mini skill that I can then bring to the table with my comedy stuff, you know? And so like with you, like, you know, what kind of makes your stuff unique is because you've had life experiences that make your storytelling and the things that you say come from a very real place. And so people connect to that. So in the same way, your life laid the groundwork for you to be funny now.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, I've always wanted to ask, what are some unwritten rules, man?
Ooh, that's a good fucking question, dude. That's
Unwritten rules
unwritten
about,
rules.
you know, comedians, and you get them all together. It's an open mic, and, you know, everybody wants to close, and why did you put me in front of this guy? And, I mean, have you...
I think an unwritten rule is that you don't make a big fuss, even if there's something to like.
100%.
If something to fuss about, maybe don't make a big deal out of it, because now you're gonna stand out for being the guy that's complaining, you know, or whatever. Because like the thing is, like, we all, you know, see like there's certain mics where maybe other people get bumps or opportunities, or they get put up in the list sooner. And honestly, you know, full disclosure, at Lady Bird, where I do an open mic there Wednesday, I tell everybody, like, I mean, I have, you know, a couple thousand followers on Instagram, and I literally say on my stories, DM me to sign up.
Yeah.
And even despite that, I maybe get 5-6 people that message me before the show to sign up. But I do give priority to people. So there's like a little bit of bias, I guess you could say. Or like, I have some friends that I work with consistently and do like bigger shows with. And so if they hit me up and they're like, hey, I'm trying to practice for something, I'll throw them in as a bump, you know? And, but that's, you know, I'd at least admit that, you know? I'm not going to hide that. People aren't going to be like,
I'm going to Lady Bird's this Wednesday.
Yeah, nice. Lady Bird Beer Garden, 7:30 every Wednesday.
Shout out.
But yeah, so my point is that I think that, you know, we all see things that are happening and in the scene, and, you know, things that we could bitch or complain about. But the thing is, like, if you're sitting there just making a bunch of fuss, a bunch of noise, you're not going to be on anyone's good side. Like, you're just going to be annoying to people, and people are going to, you know,
man.
it's just like figure out a way to deal with it. Like, just like anything, if you're going to be good and succeed, figure out a way to be good and succeed. Like, instead of focusing all the things that are holding you back, try and figure out things that can help you move forward, you know? Like,
here's a good question, man. Is there cliques in the comedian world? What I mean by cliques, man, I'm talking about, are there little cliques? You know, like in high school, you had the, you know, you had the preps, you had the athletic guys.
There is, but you know, there's no point in it really. But there's definitely cliques.
Yeah,
there's just no point in it.
There's definitely, and there's, I mean, just like anything, there's, you know, there's cliques and there's gatekeeping and stuff like that. But kind of going back to the point about not making a fuss about it, like I could sit here and complain that, oh, well, this, you know, these people get this opportunity because they're in this group or because they're friends with this people.
Right.
You know, blah, blah, blah. But like, what service is that going to do to me? Instead, it's like, I'd rather, you know, when I say I mean like all of us, like to succeed, I think it'd be better instead of complaining about that and focusing on those clicks,
100%.
being like, how can I just be someone that anyone would want to see? You know, like, because then the clicks don't really matter, right? Like, if you're bookable and you're funny and people like you, then, you know what, screw all the other stuff, because the clicks are going to continue to be clicks wherever they're at.
And no matter what you do, no matter how much you complain or who you complain to, those clicks are still going to be around. So just, you know, instead of thinking negatively, like these clicks, like, oh, they don't fucking put me on it. That's seconds of time you're wasting thinking negative. Instead of thinking about that, you should be thinking, where's the next mic I can go to? Instead of like, oh, this click don't let me in or this click don't put me on. Don't worry about that shit. Stop focusing about that. Move on to the next one.
So for open mics, right? Again, I'm just asking the questions because I'm not.
Hey, we're here to give the answers, brother.
Yeah, that's what I need.
We're out here on these streets. That way we can come back and give you some, you know, honesty.
Give us a lowdown. Give us a
honesty.
lowdown. Yeah. So let's say you do an open mic and you have a guy that comes in or a girl, and you know she's just the hot one, right? They're just so freaking funny, right? And they come in late. Are you still gonna move that person up to close, or you just say, "Hey, man, first open slot"?
No, I usually, like, if they're showing up late, I'll kind of almost like punish them for it a little bit, you know, like, because the way I look at it is like, that's not fair. Like, I'm already kind of doing people a favor by giving them the opportunity to sign up early or to get priority in some capacity. If you're like, hey man, I really got to be at this thing, like, can I go early? And I've done that for people, even though, like, you know, if I'm being selfish, I want everyone, even at my mics, I want them to stay the whole time. I mean, I know it's not realistic. I know it's not going to happen, but just like any show, you want people to be there from start to finish. And so it's like, I guess the way I look at it is like, if I'm willing to like try and work with you the best that I can in a way that may not seem fair to others, but I think is the most fair given the situation, then you should at least show up on time. And if you're not, you're going to wait a couple comics. Like, I'm not going to make you wait till the end, but I will still at least, you know, put you up. Like this guy, this comedian Patrick Brantley, like this past week. So I've been giving him
dropping.
No, he can. No, what up, Patrick?
Patrick, shout out, Patrick.
What up, dog?
Here comes one for you.
But I've been giving him crap because a couple of times, you know, he's taken advantage. Not by taking advantage, I mean he's utilized the opportunity to hit me up sooner and be like, "Can I get this spot right? Like, can I get number 4? Can I get number 5?" And I've done it a couple times, and a couple times he's missed that spot. So then I kind of started making fun of that, and you know, being like, all right, Patrick, if you miss this spot next time, banned. You know, like, you know, just like, I mean, I'm not gonna ban him, and I'm friends with him, I'm cool with him. Again, totally cool with him. I'm not trying to talk crap or anything, but I'm using that as an example of like, well, when he does show up late, I'm gonna make him wait a little bit. I'm gonna give him some crap about it in front of everybody and be like, hey, you showed up late, you know, and blah blah blah. But at the same time, I want him to have fun and I want him to get his stage time, and you know, and if he hit me up sooner, then you know, I'm still gonna get him up at a reasonable time. So
have you guys seen anyone that you've worked with, let's say in the past year or two, or however long that you've been doing it, that actually has kind of like, hey man, this guy's out there now. He's all over the place. He's nationwide, right? Is there anybody that you've worked with that
we've worked with that are really blowing up?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest one for me personally is Chona E. I mean, Chona, like, she was one of those people that I met pretty early on, like in my first year of comedy. I think actually I went to a Christmas party or something with Irma Ruiz, or for like Irma Ruiz was throwing a Christmas party, and so we went to that, and that's where I met Chona. And then, you know, fast forward, we had just kind of got in touch, and she had put me on a show, and put me like some good shows, like a freaking sold out show in San Marcos in front of like over 300 people. You know, I mean, crazy show, and she killed it. And I mean, this was earlier in the year, but even at that point, you know, I'm sitting there like, this girl was already on fire, and then she got signed by I think it's like IRM Management or something like these, and they got, you know, Concrete and a bunch of funny like Latino comics on there, and she was like the first female comedian that they put on there like that, and she's just been killing it and touring it, and just like wrapped up her year tour. She just sold out the Woodlawn. Like, I mean, think about it. We've had big names at the Woodlawn that have come to try and sell that out, and they haven't been able to do that. And so for her to be a local comic that has already been touring around the country, going from coast to coast, now coming back and then selling out the biggest comedy club in the country. I mean, big shout out to Chona. Like, she's awesome, man. Like legit. I think the comedian that I already see where she's going, and it's very clear where she's already at. And also it's cool because it's like, you know, down the road here very soon, I'll be like, oh yeah, I freaking worked with that chick, you know? And I love that because like, as a friend, I'm very proud of her because, especially for female comedians, it's hard to break out and it's hard to stand out. I mean, comedy's already so competitive. Like, I get so disheartened sometimes, like even at my own open mic, when I look at the list and I see that, I was like, oh shit, we've got 20 people signed up. I've got I got 24 people here. That's 24 comedians that are at this one open mic here in San Antonio at 7:30 on a Wednesday. So now do that math. And then it's like there are other mics going on, there are other cities going on, there are more states. It's just like all over the world. And then I like have this like mini existential crisis where I'm like, what am I even doing here? I feel like a freaking, a small little ant, compared to that. And so going back to the Chona thing, it's like, despite all of that, she is breaking out and standing out and like getting national attention. And I think that's really cool.
That's cool, man.
I love the open mics, dude. You know what I mean? I love as many mics as I can get, the opportunities. Because talking to the older guys, they're just like, dude, you have no idea how lucky y'all have it to have a fucking open mic every day of the week. Back then, we used to fucking fight for fucking spots.
And they didn't have like, electronic means of finding out about these things and communicating with each other the same way. Like these dudes are having to look it up in the paper. Like that's when my dad started comedy. Like him and Cleto, like I was talking about, like these dudes, when they were working it out early and, back when they used to have the River Center Comedy Club and stuff like that downtown, I mean, they're having to go to the paper and see where can I go during the week to find an open mic. And like, imagine none of the comedians these days would put in that work. They're not going to freaking open up a paper and research where they can go. And then like on top of that, not have GPS to get them there. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, dude. Like mad respect to the guys that put in the work back then because it was so much harder to do that now. So thank God we have, our phones and social media and also now like actual opportunities to get on stage at so many places just because
it's fucking awesome.
Comedy's on a hot streak right now. People love it. Like everyone kind of loves it right now. And it's cool. I love it. There's like a big comedy boom right now.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it, the comedy boom. I'm part of that comedy boom. I'm coming up on 5 months in. Man.
5 months?
5 months.
Man, you're doing good, man.
I'm having fun. That's that's the
thing
most
right
important
there.
part is having fun. The moment I stop having fun, I don't know what's gonna happen.
You've done a lot in 5 months.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Have you ever had anyone at an open mic where nobody knows this person? Maybe he or she's in the audience and they're like, hey, I want to do it. And they get up there and just kill it, but you never see them again? Have you ever had anybody like that?
That's a good question.
Actually, recently over at the Clover Club at Javi Balzadua's mic, there was this lady. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat randomly. But there was this lady that showed up, and I think she says she's a bartender at like one of those like Smashing Crab type of places. Which already have a weird clientele. So it's like if you're at a bartender at that place, you're gonna have some pretty odd conversations, I bet, and like have a lot of fun with customers because that's just like an interesting environment. To be a bartender at. But she went up there and she signed up for that mic. She said it was her first time. I mean, she likes to write comedy stuff, but I mean, killed it. Like absolutely had the room laughing. I mean, the whole time. And I was like, damn, like, and it was pretty full that night. And just to see someone go up and do that, never heard of them. And they're like, yeah, man, I don't even know what happened. And I was like, all right, that's cool. It was like that scene in Old School whenever Will Ferrell, like, what happened? I blacked out. Like when he gives that badass answer or the correct answer.
Right, yeah. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I can get up there, man. And try to make people laugh. But
I felt like that though with certain people that are now some of the better ones here in San Antonio and doing very well, like Bill. Like the first time I saw Bill Williams, like he was just like a dude trying to mic. Like he didn't start that long ago, so I saw Bill when he first started, and I was like, damn, And same thing with that dude Nick Martin, like. Same thing. It was like there are some dudes. I mean, I could list off, people, but those two immediately come to mind where they kind of just started and already were naturally funny, and already had like a good style, something different, unique that stood out. And then now that they've actually been able to get the practice and put in the work and stuff like that, they're actually honing it, and getting it tight.
They're traveling, man.
They're doing well. Yeah.
What's the furthest you ever traveled to do comedy?
Las Vegas.
You went to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Comedy, man. It's badass, bro.
My first year of comedy. So I had started back in a little over 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And so in like 2023, like right before the summer, And then, speaking of Irma Ruiz, like we talked about her earlier, so she had this thing called the Mind Twist Comedy Festival because she runs Mind Twist Comedy, which is kind of like her production company that's behind, The Teacher's Gone Bad and all the stuff that she does and her, comedy brand in general. But they had the Mind Twist Comedy Festival. So that was my first comedy festival that I entered. And then that was at the end of December that year. And the thing was that the winner was going to go to Vegas. So that was like the part of the prize. Like you win and then you get to go to Vegas.
Fuck yeah.
And so I ended up winning. And then so got a trip to Vegas.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
It was cool though. I mean, we actually, it was really cool of Irma because we tied. It was me, Jay Valdez, and Wally Milligan. And when it came down to like the points, like, there was like different like voting metrics and stuff like that. But when it came to the cumulative points, like then we tied. And so instead of like making us have like a joke off, she was like, screw it. She took us all to Vegas. So all of us got to go and we got to, like perform at Wise Guys. We did a casino show together at the Vegas Stand Up and Rock. And that was like, first, less than a year into comedy. And it's like, holy crap, I'm already in Vegas, and it was pretty intense and very, very cool. And so I always like, Irma has given me a lot of my first like big opportunities. Like even my first time on the main stage at the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club was because of Irma. And so she's just been like really good at hitting me up at important moments and putting me on really cool things. And I've like been super grateful for that. I mean, she's done a bunch of other shows too. But yeah, that was the furthest I've traveled was Vegas, and it was pretty early on. And, at the time, it's funny looking back on it now because like I still use some of the same jokes. Obviously, they're reworked and better. I tell it better than I did then. But thinking back, it's like I can think about when I was writing those jokes because part of it, the show was called that we did at the casino was called the Retro Show. So it was a themed show, and so I had to write jokes specifically for that. But then that exercise, that was the first time that I had to like write for something. Yeah. And so that exercise then like gave me a set of jokes that I still use to this day, and they're strong jokes that still work and stuff like that. But all that happened because it was like, okay, it's almost like, a writing prompt. It's like, write for this thing, you know? And
so Ryan, how did you get into the comedian scene, the comic scene, or?
So like I briefly mentioned earlier, so my dad has done comedy for a long time, like probably like 16 years or so. And so him, Cleto, and Danny Engel, who they all still work in the scene, they all still do stuff. Like Danny headlines a lot, and Cleto obviously does things. We just did the LOL together a couple weeks ago, but they had I had always consumed comedy since I was a little kid because my dad just loved it. And then so, fast forward to later in life, he pulls the trigger on just making the decision to start pursuing comedy. He does that. And I just kind of saw over the years, like, first of all, how much fun he was having, because that was something that I enjoyed as well. Like, I come from a public speaking background. I used to do, like, speech and debate in high school and in college. Okay. Yeah. So, like, when I went to Texas State, like, I did it in Texas State competitively.
Everybody, not too bad.
Actually, was the state champion one year.
The debate state champion? Shut up. Get out of here. What year?
The Texas Intercollegiate Forensics Association, TIFA.
I can't even say that. If I try to say that, I'd murder that.
Man, I can't even say it sober. Shit.
Yeah, so the state champ. This was probably back in 2011.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just found out we're the fucking debate state champion, Ryan Herrera.
Look it up. You can Google it.
Look it up. Google
You can Google it.
Yeah. ChatGPT it.
That's badass. Dude.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
So I think all those kind of factors combined, like my upbringing, my family, like, because I remember my dad. And sometimes he would he had a record player and he would put on, it sounds so like I'm trying to be old, right? Like my dad had his record player. No, but for real, he had a record player with like Eddie Murphy albums and then Steve Martin. So Steve Martin was more clean, but like Eddie Murphy, he would let me listen to it, but then he would just like cover my ears during some of the bad parts.
You feel like clean comedy brings in more opportunities than non-clean comedy?
Yes and no. So I think, in terms of the number of opportunities, yes, because you're accessible to more people, at that point, right. If you can be clean, right? If that's something that you have, because if you can only be dirty, then you can only do dirty shows. If I'm clean, I can do cleaning shows and I can do dirty shows. So it's like I already have an advantage.
Orgies.
Yeah, exactly. I would think it's harder to make somebody laugh
Dude, I'm
clean.
being serious. The other day, I was like, how the fuck do I do a clean comedy joke? So I'm like, don't you hate it when you go to HEB and you get that wheel with the fucking wiggly?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? How do you? I don't even know where to start.
You just got to
comedy.
take out the F words and the S words and stuff like that. Like, because the
Watch
thing,
some old Bill Cosby.
because I look at it like a lot of comedians use those words as a crutch, including myself. Like
Yeah.
if I'm in like a bar show and it's already going to be kind of hard and I want to get someone's attention, I'm going to drop some F bombs
For sure,
you
for
know. And it's
sure.
Yeah.
like, or you
That's
know,
easy,
some C
right?
words or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like we're going to do something that's going to like put shocking words that make people that's drinking a beer like what?
really loud. You
What?
gotta
Yeah.
say pussy.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, woo, pussy.
Yeah, pussy. I'll clap for pussy.
Yeah, dude, it's like it's like a cheap trick, but it
really
works,
is.
you know.
Yeah.
And then, but at the same time, like I find it very like just kind of annoying when I'm watching a comic and it's just like F word after F word after F word. It's almost like just hearing someone talk and they keep saying the word like over and over, you know, when it's like this
Right.
and like and like and
And
like
like,
and
and
like
like,
and
and
it's
like,
like, all right,
yeah.
dude, enough, you know.
Yeah.
And so I look at it as like word economy and also just like the way it makes people feel. Because like to me, I enjoy cussing a lot, and at the same time, I go to church and I'm a Christian, and so that's like an internal struggle that I have, you know,
Right.
often, and like
Right.
something that like then it does affect me on, you know, because like I almost have like a. You know, like a struggle, like a battle with myself. It's like, where am I morally? Because I say the F word a lot and I say dirty things, but at the same time, like I try and be a good Christian and I try and, you know, go to church and read my Bible and do all these things. So going back to, you know, the question, it's like, I don't think it's necessary. I think it can work. And I think sometimes it is necessary, but I don't think that it needs to be something that comedians rely upon, because anyone can be funny without having to be the dirtiest, you know.
Do you have somebody right now that's clean, that does clean comedy? Do you know anyone that here locally is doing?
Oh yeah,
That
I mean Daniel
pure clean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, pure clean Daniel Quintero. Like he even brands himself as a clean comedian, and I say that respectfully because he's doing it. You know, he's getting private gigs now and private work and doing things at churches and honestly stuff that I want to do too. Like I like those kind of things.
That'd be cool.
But I also realize that like if you go to my Instagram and you go to Daniel's Instagram, his is very obviously clean. Mine is mostly clean with like some filth thrown in there too. Like I got some dirty stuff. I got by dirty, you know, I mean like clips with curse words in them and stuff like that. So if, you know, a church were to be vetting my page, they might go, maybe not. And so again, I kind of wondered, should I take some of that stuff down? Because I'm trying to figure out where I want to go.
Yeah.
Because right now I work just every type of room that I can, and that's why I bounce back and forth between clean and dirty. Because Cleto will call me, and because all of Cleto's shows are always clean.
Right.
Right. And so he'll emphasize and be like squeaky clean, you know, and those kind of
Squeaky
things.
clean.
And so when that got instilled in me early, when I started doing shows with him, that kind of just like set those expectations for myself as well. It's like I should be able to do that first. And also because I've seen the success that Cleto has had. Like he's won Best Stand-Up Comic in San Antonio 4 times from the SA Current. You know, like I said, that guy's been killing the game for over 20 years. He, you know, still tours. He still does, you know, he's about to shoot another special coming up in 2026. He's got a dry bar special, and he's got a good life for himself and a happy family. And so when I like look at the bigger picture, it's like, you know, going back to the thing about there are so many people doing this right now, chasing this exact dream, probably having a podcast right now, talking about
Doing
this
the
kind of
same thing
stuff,
we're doing,
doing the same thing, trying to make it. And not everyone's going to be Kevin Hart or not everyone's going to be Shane Gillis, but you can still be successful and happy
100%.
and make a comfortable life for yourself in a way that you can still do things that you want to do, not have to stress about time so much, and you know, also pat yourself on the back and be like, freaking good job. Like Cleto can pat himself on the back and be like, he's kind of, you know, he's done it, and like I think he's done a great job. And so I use him as an example of like the kind of and my dad too, is like the kind of comedians I want to be. I mean, obviously I want to be as big as I possibly can, but at the same time I see the opportunities that live in this area that, you know, not everyone around the world is going to know who you are, but that doesn't really matter as long as like where I'm at in my home, I'm happy, I'm cool, I'm good, you know. So that's kind of like, you know,
that'll work, man.
Yeah.
If you had to talk to, let's say, a female audience, and they're like, "And I want to be a comedian, but and there's just not a lot of females out there, right?" I mean, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them that's kind of, them doing themselves a disservice, because, there is kind of like this narrative that, maybe female comedians aren't as funny as male comedians. And I'm not going to weigh in on that. I mean, but at the same, I would say, why not just freaking do it and like, either prove yourself right or prove yourself wrong. Like, for example, we're setting up this competition for, a Total Joke Off, which is this Monday show that we do at Dave & Buster's with Rod Eccles. And we're setting up a contest, and we're having a discussion. I hope I can talk about this. Fuck it, I'm gonna talk about it. But basically, we're deciding, like, are we gonna do categories, like a male category and a female category, or do we put it together? And I'm kind of the opinion it's like, I think we should just put it together, because I like the idea of people all competing for the same thing. Funny.
I've been to most of those, and call me silly, but I don't even remember a female comedian being there outside of Susie, and I think she just did a feature. I may have missed one or two, but
there's also just a disparity in terms of the number of comedians, right?
Yeah.
So like doing this tank show every week, like I got to book comics every single week, and I usually have 6 to 7 comics on the show, on average. And doing that, I find it a lot more challenging to find female comedians than I do to male comedians. So I think that that doesn't have anything to do with my preference, and it doesn't have anything to do necessarily with who I think is the most funny. It's the fact that I can't have the same people on over and over and over again. And also I need to find, more female comedians. Yeah. And it's hard sometimes, like Cousin Berto helps me out. He's a comedian here in the scene that y'all know. Night. Yeah, but he'll help me out and send me recommendations, because he's kind of he's kind of the plug on that right now. He's got his ladies' night show, and so he's kind of got a whole roster of bitches that. This has been like a nice wholesome conversation the whole time, and it's like, he's got a bunch of funny comics that I could hit up.
A customer that comes into the smoke shop that I work at, and I always talk about my comedy and shit. And she's like, I always want to try it. I was like, you need to come out. Like, just, you know what I mean? What's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? You're going to make somebody laugh up there. Yeah. It's not going to be that bad.
And that's the thing is, like, you don't even have to do it, like, as a thing to pursue, as a career or anything like that. It's like, I think it's just kind of fun for anyone to just try in general. Like the same way I think everyone should try doing karaoke once, Like,
I love karaoke.
Whether you love it or hate it, I think challenging yourself, if you can get up there and sing in front of some people, why not? It's like, if you're not going to skydive, at least do a little karaoke, like, I don't know, something. Same thing with like stand-up comedy. It's like,
I just had this crazy idea.
It blows my mind, when some people, I've seen people get shook by the idea that a comedian didn't want to become famous. They just wanted to do comedy for a little bit. Like, because I've met people at open mics that afterwards I'm like, hey, great job, that was funny, you can keep doing this. I'm like, yeah, maybe. I don't know, I just wanted to try it. And it's like, and it's like, that's it. And they're like, I just want to try it. Yeah.
I just had a crazy idea. I don't know if it's possible, but what was if we were to do a show at Tanks with the setup off to the side? They have the two big side opens area, and we could like set this up, and before the comedian goes up, he can come talk to us for a couple minutes.
That would be cool.
After.
That would be cool. A live show like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, we won't be live recording on YouTube. It'd be recorded.
Yeah, but I mean,
it'd be a taping.
Yeah.
I'll keep sounding like I'm echoing.
I meant live, like the way Saturday Night.
Put this shit in my mouth.
Like the way SNL uses it. Yeah. He's just like,
whatever. But no, that literally just flashed in my head. I don't know. Maybe I'm manifesting something.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that sounds
that
like
was
something.
Cool. I like
cool.
that. I'd be down with that. I mean, we're trying to find ways to keep it interesting and to keep making
the
show feel bigger and get
I'm going
bigger.
to do this podcast taping if you come on
that's
this Thursday.
That's another thing is like we're trying to expand too in the sense of trying to get out there, right? And
you need to get out and watch some comedy too.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone a couple of times. We went actually more than a couple of times.
This Thursday, I'm going to take you out. We're going to Tank's Pizza.
Well, not this Thursday's Thanksgiving, but
you're not having it? No, I'm just kidding.
What do you
the
mean?
Following one,
next Thursday, dude. I don't know what day it is. I'm so lost in the days and time. But so the next show, we'll go out, dude. It's badass, man. $5 personal pizzas.
Dude, I'll show you some videos later. This last one was kind of crazy because we had this rapper out there, Black Mexico, and he freaking killed it. But he also brought out, the squad. And dude, I mean, just everyone was just up there. And we got this comedian. Her name's Broke. She's this tall white chick. And like just seeing her up there in a sea of black dudes, it's just like I've seen getting down. Just getting down on it, dude. Like it was so much fun. And like I'm sitting there back, and like I said, I had Big Al there at the show. And so Big Al's sitting there watching all this, and he was like, dang, man, like, it's kind of crazy, like, just seeing what it became. Because it used to be rocks, no curtain, just freaking a couple of benches, and that was it. And now it's like, it feels like a place and like a thing, and it continues to grow. Now that we've added music to it, because the past 3 weeks, we've added a musical artist to close down the show. And it's really kind of amped it up. Like I still haven't posted about it, but I'm trying to figure out a way to do it strategically that'll get some attention. But we had a wedding 2 weeks ago at Tanks, which was just crazy. Like what the hell? Like
that's badass, dude.
I've heard of people getting engaged at comedy shows. I've never heard of anyone getting married at a comedy show.
That's the first for me. I've never heard of that one.
So I don't know. So let's freaking do a podcast there, dude. Because I'm just trying to find ways. There's so many comedy shows that. I think, to me, the idea of a free comedy show where you can still go and have a good time and get almost like a little like boost of energy and like adrenaline. Like I like free that comedy shows because we keep it more high energy. It's not just like, and your next comic is.
You're the best, dude. You're the best, by the way, Ryan. You're the best, dude. Like I don't know how you do it, man, but you're the best. You fucking offer a free show at Tanks on Thursdays, but you somehow pay the comedians to go.
I mean, not much, but I just wanted to like something.
It don't fucking matter. It's gas in the tank. It don't matter, dude. It's fucking awesome that you do that. I don't know how you do it, but it's awesome.
That's badass, man. That may be something. That may be something.
And then,
again, we want to get out there, right? Because we want to talk to these comedians, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, how they got in it, and what's. But what I really would like to see more so of is even on the podcast is from them more energy. And even, hey, you don't have to put your whole set on, but give us a little taste, right? While we're on the podcast, I think it would be beneficial for them because they're going to get the clicks, they're going to get the views, right? And then people going to say, oh yeah, I remember, he's going to be at so-and-so Tanks. Okay, yeah, I got to go see him. Why? Because he made me laugh just for that little brief moment. Maybe there's something else there that I want, I like him, or I like her, right? That's what I'm trying to tell the comedians or anybody who gets on a podcast. I'm like, man, this is just a platform. You can perform here. Why not? Right. Yeah. So it'd be the same thing as we set up like at Tanks or some another place. It's like, hey, we could do that. Yeah,
I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I think it could be a thing, man. It could be something.
I don't know why in my head I thought you were like setting me up to like freestyle right now.
Was that shine, man?
I was like, DJ, before we get it's like all of a sudden it turns into like Sway in the morning. And
he's gonna do it a cappella, but we'll put a beat on it behind it later. We'll edit it later.
Yeah. DJ.
Oh man.
No, that's funny, man. But no, for real, like I think you're doing a really good job with this podcast because how long have you been? It hasn't been that long, right? Like,
it's been a little bit over a year.
A little over a year, right? Yeah. And like I think as far as clips that get my attention, like I think you are the best at it because the quality looks so good. It looks so clean and professional, and I think you do have.
Fucking that guy.
Yeah, no, seriously, dude. Shout out, dude. Like seriously, and I think that the editing, like for me, I don't like when
Baby David
when things are edited to where clips are so like it's going so back and forth between people on the podcast that it's almost like I'm like a head spin.
Yeah,
I think you are good about the editing. So the reason I'm saying all of this is because I find it interesting that you are having what I would consider like a very successful podcast that's continuing to grow. You've had good guests on there with good clips and all of that coming from a guy that doesn't really hang around comedy that much,
Like I say, I gotta get him out there, dude.
And that's like, why I think mind blowing to me. It's cool, but maybe you being more objective like that is
that's what it is. It's exactly what it is because I don't know. Then I'm asking kind of the stupid questions, right? The questions that they're not going to get asked, right? Because I don't know, and so if I don't know, I'm going to ask you the questions, and you're going to like, okay, yeah, but it's informative, right? Because there's a lot of me's out there that don't know, right? So I'm asking these stupid questions, and they're like, yeah, what is that unwritten rule or the unsaid rule about?
But it'd be good for you to go out there and be like, yeah, you'd be like, I saw you the other night, or I saw you a couple months ago.
By the way, I'm gonna clip that. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
dude.
Yeah, dude. Awesome. Like, doing a great job, killing it.
dude.
Like
Yeah.
that's why I was so excited whenever the man with many names decided to hit me up, Mr. Andrew Bernal, aka Jared Bear, aka Alfie Burns.
I'm known by many names.
Many names. Yeah.
Another thing was and I was talking to Andrew about it is, when we put the promo clips out there, we're asking people, hey, reach out, man, don't be embarrassed. Just jump on. Come on, sit down or you want to bring another comic with you, and do that. That's cool too. Whatever, but we're offering the platform here, and so anybody's welcome. The notion is that, oh well, why did you get this guy and this guy's been doing? I don't even know you. I didn't even know this guy. And he just reached out and says, hey, I want to do the podcast. And I'm like, okay, let's set a date and time and you guys come. So if you run into people that are like, hey, how did you get on the podcast? Or, dude, just DM us, and then
just give me your address.
Dude, just
show up. They're in the back.
On the front door first.
Knock on the front door. There's going to be a tiny Mexican man. He's going to seem really confused and ask why you're there.
And then when you walk in, you can go, oh.
Yeah, he's going to ask, why is this guy with a beard and a tank top at my front door
lovely in here,
at
dude.
this time of night? I'm like, I'm here to see Dave.
So reach out. So you see those guys out there and like they ask you, just say, man, dude, just freaking just DM, just ask them, hey, I want to be on a podcast. Okay, well, let's set it up, and I told Andrew the same thing.
The more the merrier, that's for sure.
The more the merrier. And, to get their story out and get, we've had some good ones, and you were talking about Bill, and when we had Bill,
I hate Bill. I was talking about
his timing, man. He's just got good timing.
He's great. He's one legit, consistently. He's consistent. He's great timing. Yeah,
he's got good timing.
He's honestly one of my favorite pan deliverers. Right? Is that what it's called? Pan?
Deadpan.
It's just flat. It's just there is no yelling or no. It's just. Yeah, he's really good at it.
About him too, it's funny because he is so deadpan that like sometimes he'll giggle, like he'll actually catch himself, and that to me is my favorite. Like whenever you catch like deadpan Bill like giggling at his own joke because he's like, this is ridiculous, and like it's funny, like, and it's great.
So I like everybody's different, we've had, St. Becca, we've had Jack. We've had Jack on here, Cameron. So yeah, everybody's different. Everybody's style's different, but it's been great, and we want to grow it more so. And so anybody that's out there, you want to jump on the podcast, just shout out, man.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're offering that because for me, like I know whenever I first started comedy, and then I got on my first podcast, which was Bad First Impressions with Alonzo Cantu. Shout out Alonzo Cantu. Yeah. Shout out Bad First Impressions. It's not a competing podcast. Don't worry. But anyway, like it meant a lot to like just be on that because it's like as a guy that's consumed so much comedy and consumed so many podcasts and been on the other end of it, and like how cool is it that they get to be on a show and just like talk about like this kind of stuff or whatever, just like do exactly what we're doing right now. And it feels special. So like to offer that, especially with something like this quality, I think is really, awesome. So thanks for doing that because to everyone that is watching this right now, like most podcasts have a studio. This isn't a studio. This is a space that they're recording the podcast in. So it's all real and it looks legit and it looks cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not
like CGI.
Dude, it's not CGI. Yeah, exactly. This isn't AI. It's not Sora or whatever that freaking. And so to me, that's even more cool because it's like, shoot, dude, like this is legit. It's great.
Appreciate it.
Very professional.
Yeah, we have some. Like I said, we have some other places that we can shoot. That we've actually, we've actually gone a couple of restaurants. We've shot there, and did stuff like that. But mainly we will, here or at the other place where we had the event, the backyard event.
Yeah, dude,
that was cool. That was really cool.
That was just kind of on a whim, man.
I was like, be on a Combies #2.
Yeah. Yeah, comedy night, backyard barbecue, like
Dude,
was
that shit
freaking.
was fucking dope.
That's dope. I mean, that, again, that's cool, man. Like, I think you now being an ingredient in this comedy scene and this podcast and kind of like what your interests are and the energy you're bringing to the table is really cool because it's gonna help the comedy scene for sure. Like doing that kind of stuff, like having a cool comedy show that comedians
really
will
cool,
remember and talk about and want to do again.
I still do.
Yeah.
I
And stuff
get to
like,
say that. I did a private show. I have a private show under my belt. You know, I get to say that.
All that stuff's meaningful.
is.
And I don't know. I'm a real like nostalgic, sappy kind of person, dude. Like, and I always try and see like, I try and find meaning in everything, these days. I think I spent so much of my life, like especially in my 20s, like back when I used to drink, spent so much time like looking over things and looking through things that like now that I don't, I really try and soak everything up and like appreciate it, almost like overly appreciate it just because it's like, I can't remember a lot of my 20s, and it's like, it shouldn't be like that, so I'm trying to remember all of my 30s and all of my 40s and enjoy it, and so, putting people on like a platform like this, it's special, and putting on cool shows, it's special, and it means a lot.
Yeah.
So, what's next for you, Ryan? Are you really just wanting to, I guess, continue with being a host, comedian, or are you aspiring to maybe have a special or get or go open for a headliner, act? What's?
I do want to go into acting, so this summer I got cast in a series. It's called The Salesman. They still haven't hit me up to actually put me in anything, but technically I got the email that I was cast. So you know what? I did the audition, I was cast, so I'll take it. But I've done some other acting stuff. Like I'm in a series that's coming out now called King of the South. You can find them on Instagram at King of the South and on Facebook. But a really cool series, and I love that acting kind of stuff. So I think it would be great if this could parlay into that somehow because I enjoy all of it. I enjoy the comedy part, but I also just kind of like, to me, acting is just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but
I wanna get
as far as more of the immediate goal, like I want this past year, so I'm going to shout out Clifton Simmons again, because he kind of put this egg or planted this seed in my head. Last year we did a December show together, and this was out in Kerrville, and it was like a awesome packed out show. Clifton headlined, and before the show he was like, man, Ryan, he's like, I feel like you're hosting a lot. And this is last year, and he's like, I feel like you're hosting a lot. He's like, make 2025 the year of featuring. And I was like, okay. And then in 2025 I've featured quite a bit, and by that I mean done like been the guy right before the headliner, done 20-25 minute sets, 30-minute sets, pretty consistently. I've headlined quite a few times and like some good shows, like done private events and stuff like that. And so I kind of feel like I was doing what Clifton said I should do, which was like make 2025 about like getting more than just being a host. And so even though I plan on continuing hosting consistently and taking as many opportunities as I can, I want to make now 2026 the year of like headlining. Like I want to get more of those kind of, keep raising the bar and do that, because I feel confident now that like, I know I'm not the best. I know there are plenty of other comics that I'm like, man, if they're on ahead of me, I'm stressing a little bit. I think I can still, hold my own and do well, but it definitely increases the anxiety a little bit, and because they're good. But at the same time, I've seen myself, and I don't mean to sound like, selfish or anything like that, but like I've seen myself do well in important moments in big rooms. And to me, I'm like, if I can do that, then I have a lot of faith in what I can do later, because I've still got so much room to grow right now.
That on your tanks when you're doing your flyers and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It just says the pictures, the names or whatever. You don't really know the lineup until you get there. And then that night that I went up a couple of Thursdays ago with Jer Bear, and then you sent the list and said I was last. And I was like, wait a minute. Am I the fucking headliner tonight? And the guy, everybody before me, I was just like, there's no fucking way. Like maybe they're calling it the extended spot, right? But no, you went up there and you're like, all right, tonight y'all's headliner. I was like, what the fuck, man? That's fucking awesome. Like that felt
congrats.
so good, man. It means a lot.
Yeah.
And then I went to do the NAR bar with flash laughs, and they had me going up first, and I killed it. And then on the way back to the car, because we all fucking drove in the same car, they were just like, dude, never again is fucking Jerry Bear going first.
Yeah.
Like, never
set the bar
again.
too high,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that's what happened. I mean, I didn't know it was happening at the time. You know what I mean?
When I first saw that dude, I said, "Man, that shit right there is funny, man."
Yeah.
What the
That
thing
was
about
good.
Jerry Bear is he's been in the box for a while. You've seen the box that
Yeah.
Jerry Bear lives in. But a
That's
lot of people
fucking
are already
funny,
asking
man.
him to come back out. You know that dude, Tomek Koleski?
Yeah. Yep.
He was just like, dude, don't stop. He's like, I mean, he didn't say it like that. Do not stop. He's
Yeah, yeah, he said it more like
Do
that.
not stop the cock riding.
not
It
stop,
is
yeah.
very funny.
Yeah.
He goes, let me tell you, I've been here in America, and for 4 months, I see comedians all over the place.
Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah,
They
he's
look
great.
the fucking same. They look the same. And then there's you on a fucking giant cock.
Yeah.
And he's like, and it's not just. He goes, it's not just a costume. It's the jokes that you have written for it.
Yeah,
He goes,
yeah,
it's
most
fucking
definitely.
funny.
Yeah, because the costume, I mean, you can only stand up there in costume for so long, but you're saying things that fit what you're trying to do. I think the hard part is when you do the same thing over and over again and you get bored with it.
I do. You could
And-
see it.
And then it comes out.
You could, yeah, it comes
and
out.
then,
in the
and
show.
also like when you have the same people, like, you know, you got your lady coming out all the time. You almost want to save her the time of not having to watch it again.
every night in the car, we get in the car, and we
Shit.
start driving home, and I go, babe, how do you fucking sit and watch that shit every
Yeah.
night? And then when we watch the video of her recording, she's laughing. I'm like, babe, why are you laughing? You've seen it over and over and over.
She
When
loves
it's-
you, bro.
Yeah,
She loves you.
And the thing is, when that happens,
Yeah.
that means that was real good.
Yeah.
That's just you hit it, man, and it's like forever.
As much as I want to keep doing Jerry Bear, it's just
Look, there's
Man, you
I
got to
take too many
expand,
people's
man.
opinion to heart. I guess I don't know.
as your friend, I think that's right now. It's something you could keep in your pocket to pull out whenever you
Whenever
want.
I
Yeah.
want, that's what I was thinking.
But you're still so early on that like you've got so much room to grow. Like you've already done a lot in a little bit of amount of time. But I think that really just focusing on trying to truly find your voice and your rhythm.
Yeah.
Because like once you find that rhythm and like kind of who you feel like you are as a comic, the writing will come easy. Because like you think about like comedians that are putting out specials consistently, like an hour of material. Because like kind of going back to the headlining thing, like there's headlining that's closing a show with more time, and then there's headlining that's 45 minutes to an hour, right?
Right.
Like there are different categories of like headlining, right?
headline, right.
And the thing is that there are some headliners that fall into that latter category of 45 minutes to an hour that are putting out stuff every couple of years. Like this dude, Joe List, from, he's a comedian from New York. He's been putting out, I think he said he's like trying to make it a point to like put out a special like every year. Right. And that takes a lot of writing and working stuff
Yeah.
out. But I think the reason he's able to do that is because he's comfortable with his point of view and his perspective. So now it's almost just like a formula. You're just like plugging stuff into it, right? Like you're almost like plugging things into your personality and then putting it out there and try and find ways to make it funny in a unique way that's like unique to you.
Yeah, I remember one of the first times you not criticized. What's the word? Critiqued me on
No, it was criticized.
on I'll tell a joke off.
It's a
You're
nice
just
way
like-
of saying it.
You're just like, dude, I'm can't wait to see you in a year, like where you're at in a year. So shit, we're almost halfway there. I'm 5 months in already.
Time's
And
flying, man.
Yeah, dude. Time's flying. It feels like I'm on a fucking rocket ship. I fucking love this shit.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
And it's gonna be cool when you get feedback in a year too,
Yeah.
because it's almost like it's nice and it's humbling. Because like even last night I did a show with Sam Haney, and over at the House Party Improv, and afterwards, because like I met Sam, he was one of the first people I met in comedy. He used to run the Lady Bird mic back when I started. Him and his mom Robin Haney, and that's really the room where I worked stuff out every single week. And like, and I like that. If I was going anywhere every week, it was that one. And there was this other one called the Edison Experiment that Zandy used to run. But every single week. And so he kind of saw me like from the very, very beginning. And then last night after the show, he was like, man, it is so cool to see like where you've come and like how much you've grown and how much better you've got. And I'm saying that because like, to me, I was like, dang, I thought I was already pretty decent. I was like, but at the same time, I was like, that's so cool because we're just living in this moment right now. Like you're, 5 months in, Jer Bear, and so that's your point of view. But then, in a year, you're gonna look back on your performances now and be like, that was good, but I'm so much better now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck yeah.
and same thing. And I say that confidently. It's like, damn, like I did pretty good, pretty early on, like the mind twist, the Vegas thing, all that stuff. But I feel like I'm so much better now, and you're gonna be so much better now, and like all that just really does kind of come with time.
Yeah, nobody's fucking.
But you can speed it up by getting on more stages.
Yeah,
like that's why Bill got quick because he got on so many stages.
You doing Lady Bird this Wednesday before Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'll be there. I asked for that day off. I got it off. I'll be there.
Heck yeah, dude.
My first time at Lady Bird.
It's interesting you brought up film and all that, because I think that's our second part of the podcast, because all of a sudden we're in that space. I've already I've already had 3 directors. Gonna have a producer here in a minute.
Let's start acting.
Movies. Yeah, we had a guy here last week. Did a podcast for him. He just had a film festival yesterday.
Oh wow!
It's here in San Antonio. So we're kind of gaining into that space. We had a couple actors. So I think we're in. I think that's going to be our space. It's kind of the film acting. Comedy. I think that's where it's gonna. That's where it seems to be going for us.
That's awesome. Well, keep me posted on that, because I love. That's what I'm saying. I love to blend that world somehow.
Yeah, because I'm asking these questions. Like we bring them in, and I ask them. I was like, hey, so how does somebody become an actor? Who does the script? Who does the script? Hey, who's like the last? I ask all the stupid questions, right? Because somebody wants to ask the questions, those stupid questions, because they don't know, right? Let's say maybe it's somebody that wants to be an actor, but doesn't want to say, well, who has the last, say so in a movie and how I'm acting and all that. So I'm asking those questions, right? I'm asking the stupid questions, and so that way it's more informative to them. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. So now I know that if I get into that space, I'm gonna remember, hey, David's podcast that. I remember he had this director on. Let me go back before I go in front of this director and at least understand a little bit. Okay, here I know what to look forward to here when I get into there, to that space. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to that point.
I love that, dude. I mean, please do it. Just don't try, do it. Honestly, because a real quick funny story about so the acting stuff. Do we have time? Are we?
I think we got there like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, cool. So this was last year. So this guy hit me up on Facebook. He slid into my DMs and was like, "Hey, I'm a director from Mexico," and he's like, "And I think you'd be perfect for this part." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "It's called like the King's Son or something like that. I don't know, like this is his movie." And he's like giving me kind of like these general credentials and like, "Oh, I did this film festival and did this, blah 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 blah." And so he sends me the concept of the show. He's like, I just need some audition tape. And I was like, okay, sure. And so he sent me like, a little bit of some script.
Lines or something.
Yeah, so like some line readings, like some stage directions. So like I did it, I filmed myself. I, did it, committed. I looked like I probably sound like a psychopath to my neighbors because I lived in a freaking apartment with my girlfriend, and I'm sitting here shouting, and they're probably thinking like I'm beating my girlfriend when I'm sitting here, just trying to like rehearse or whatever. And then but anyway, I submit that. Then he was like, hey, I think you're going to be great. He's like, let's do one more round of tape. And then after that, he's like, okay, you got the part. He's like, now we just need to fly you to Mexico so that you can try on the costume. And I was like, fly me to Mexico to try on the costume? I was like, bro, my dad owns a bridal shop. Like, I'm pretty sure he could just fit me over there. If we're really worried about the sizing,
I can
like,
give you my measurements.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have
25.
That's 35. What I'm saying. It's like, exactly. Like, reasonably, I could just give you my measurements, but he was like very insistent. And then I was like, man, this sounds like a scam, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, why would I need to fly all the way to Mexico, to the middle of Mexico, just so I could try on a costume? I was like, can I bring my dad with me? And he's like, I mean, if you want, but he's not going to be able to come to the studio. And I'm like, what is going on? But in the time, I was so caught up in that moment that like I was trying my best to make that happen. Like I didn't have a passport at the time. I'm like scrambling to find my freaking birth certificate. I'm like, I need to get a passport.
Yeah.
And then I got everyone in my life being like, hey, slow down. I don't know if this is like a good idea. Like, don't go to Mexico.
dude.
Yeah. And
No,
then,
do not do that.
but, you know, kind of going back to the thing I was saying about being in the moment right now and us like not seeing where we're going to be later or the bigger picture is like so caught up in how we feel about how we are right now. Like then I was like, man, everyone's trying to freaking hold me down. Like, this is my opportunity. Like, I'm going to go to Mexico and try on this costume and show all these people wrong. You like prove them all wrong. And then eventually the passport became enough of an issue and I'm enough of a procrastinator to where I just put it off. And then I just let it lie. I was like, if this dude hits me up, then maybe it was real. If not, it wasn't. And then he just kind of went silent and, you know, it just kind of went away. And so, but that was like one of those things. It's like, man, I might have almost sex trafficked myself, you know, like seriously, dude.
We see Ryan. Have you seen this guy?
Have you seen this guy? Yeah. Voluntarily trafficked myself. Like, he went through the effort. He got his own passport.
Yeah,
he flew himself.
His measurements are. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Man, Ryan, hey, man, thanks for stopping by. Got to do, man. I hope you come back again.
Dude, this was so much fun, bro. It flew by, honestly.
Time flies, man, and appreciate you coming by and sharing some stories and some insight into, you know,
in the comedy world.
In the comedy world, man.
The
and
Countdown
so,
City. That's right.
But yeah, man, got to do it again. And thank you.
Yeah, brother. Hey, y'all are killing it. Great job. Shout out to your guest host.
Thank
you. That's what's up. You know, sorry, Elgin, E2 Funny. Spencer couldn't be here. But yeah, shout out.
E2 not funny right now.
Shout out.
Shit,
Shout out E2
Hey,
Funny.
man, you deserve it.
That wasn't written. That wasn't on a script or nothing. Fucking shit.
No, man.
I love Elgin.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, Ryan. All right, see you guys on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Peace out later.